All right, welcome to the Organic Fitness Podcast with myself, Colman Power. Yeah, that's me. Just need to forget my name. That's okay. And this week's episode is a Q&A, all about 4 main topics that have come through my social media platforms. So if you're not following me there, check it out. Instagram, Colman Power Organic Fitness. You have TikTok, Colman Power. That's going very well. We're 99,000 followers on that, which is unbelievable. Thanks to each and every one of you guys. You have Instagram and Facebook, again, Colman Power. My name, can't go wrong there. So the 4 main questions that we're hitting in this week's Q&A are, how grass-fed beef is any better? And that came in from TikTok on DBRACER, DBracer96. Okay, next question, also from TikTok. It came in from French Fry Gravy, and I do love these names. Keep them coming. How can the sun give us energy? Then we have the third of the total of 4 questions in this Q&A. 4 training myths about weightlifting. So that came in from a client that I'm currently training at the minute that I've taken on the program and the CPOF. And the final one is best go-to protein organic snacks you have. Hit me up. And again, that's from a client I'm currently training, and I want to further expand on this because that's what I do. I give out loads of free information, more often than not, better free information than people's paid. So because information should be free and available to everybody, and that's really important to remember. So straight away, I'm gonna take a drink of my parsley tea. And for those of you on YouTube, it's in a flask that I was given to from a major fan. Again, Tracy, legend, is a chicken and a CPF on it too. It also has to get on the good stuff. So we'll go through the likes of the first of questions that was asked by DBracer69. How grass-fed beef is any better? So whether you consume meat or not, we must realize that if you do have a vegetarian or a vegan diet, animal manure must be used in the cycling of nutrients, because other than that, it's using synthetic fertilizers which are not going to support soil health. Okay, a lot of people talk about, including for myself, beneficial gut microorganisms, all located in your stomach, but going further back to ground level, there are beneficial microorganisms located there that break down material that otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity to be available to the plant's roots that are then taken up. Because there's that statistic that's out there that 50 years ago, the vegetables and fruits and produce that we were eating were 3 times as nutrient dense. And this is because every nutrient comes from the soil. And remembering that when you do buy things that are grown with regenerative agriculture, whether it be organic or chemical free or growing some of your own, that idea is you're getting your best bang for your buck with the nutrients that are available in and at this moment in time in the soil that are taken up by the plants. So getting back to how grass-fed is any better, firstly, it's better for the soil. Then the idea that it's higher omega-3. Omega-3 is anti-inflammatory. You want more of this in your diet. The idea that it reduces inflammation, it improves cognitive function, it increases your absorption of fat-soluble vitamins, omega-3 winning. And not only that, it's found in higher concentrations from the likes of grass-fed or organically registered produce. So that's worth noting. You want more of that in your diet. But remember that you can have grass-fed animals, and then this is where packaging can come and be slightly confusing. You turn it around the back and it then end up being grain finished. If it is grain finished, it doesn't have and gain the full advantage for you, the end consumer of that product. Why? Because it's typically soya and GMO soya at that. So genetically modified seed stands for GMO. So if you are consuming grass-fed produce that has labels on the front, make sure it's 100% grass finished. And also another way of knowing that would be to get it organically. Why? Because organic produce does not use genetically modified seeds. And a lot of people say that, is there any point then in buying any type of the grass-fed animals if they're not grain finished? The idea is that throughout the year, even if it is organic, animals have to be housed inside for a period of time, just due to weather conditions. That's the main difference between organic and conventional. and grass-fed being, I suppose, a step in between that. So it goes from the third to second to first, or first to second to third. Organic being the gold standard, the likes of grass-fed, hopefully they're using regenerative agriculture, being in second, and conventional often never seeing the day of light, depending on where you're getting your produce. I have listeners in America, which I do know it's slightly even more important to consume things that are grass-fed and grass-finished, and even more important then again to get them regenerative agriculture grown with organic labeling on those. And then I want people to even go further afield if you can. Most certainly getting things local, getting things as best you can, because that's reducing the likes of air miles, and that is important. Geez, I love drinking. But you have to try this. Parsley in a cup, pour in some hot water. Unbelievable, high in antioxidants. And that's why you can remind me of, they have higher antioxidants, because the higher omega-3 and these higher antioxidants are found in grass-fed animals and produce, is for the main reason that it's coming from the soil. Nutrients, all nutrients come from the soil. And you want to consume more of these higher omega-3 and higher antioxidants, both things that reduce inflammation, speed up muscle recovery, and are good for your overall health. Something that's not only beneficial for you, but it's also beneficial for the environment. I love consuming things and recommend the best. All you have to do is do your best in any given day to go to the country markets, go to your stores, go and get it as local as you possibly can. You get it direct from the farm, you're an absolute winner. And I had Real Tan Man on, and he has an app at this moment in time that he's expanding out to not only just America, Canada, and Central Europe, for places and farms that literally want people to come to their gate and literally buy the produce, reducing on transport, getting you to have and consume the best of a food you possibly can. So another advantage, I suppose, of grass-fed beef would be it's a complete protein source which contains all 9 amino acids, and that's essential for maintaining your muscle. Key, good again for your skin health, and most certainly the idea that we're going to recap it off with omega-3, higher, reduced inflammation, less omega-6, which is inflammation, from those animals. Right, that is question number 1. Rolling on to number 2, coming in from French fry gravy, how the sun gives us energy. I literally sit here, I'm nearly so envious to put my head out and open the windows right now, because that's exactly what it is. The sun gives us energy, and I am a firm believer, as soon as this podcast is over, I'm going outside 100%, because it improves our blood flow. It's something that we don't get enough of throughout the winter months. So as soon as we're in spring right now, it gives everything energy. In fact, without the sun, things would die. Nothing would grow. The plants, the flowers, the bees wouldn't be able to do their job, because they wouldn't be flowers for them to pollinate. And it's something that a lot of people have heard a lot of negatives about. And it's too easy right now for people to, I suppose, point out the negatives. So there are loads of negatives with anything, and I want people to focus in on the positives. Too much of anything can cause and is bad for you, and too much sun causes inflammation. But at certain times of the day is what I highly recommend people to get it. First thing in the morning. Why? Because it naturally awakens your body. It's increasing your blood flow. All those things are going to improve your health. If you are ever coming into, I suppose, an area or a time of the day that you are getting excessive amount of sun and redness and burning is happening, that's not what I recommend. No, what I recommend is, if you ever have that problem, is to put on long sleeved clothes. Put on a hat, come in out of the sun, and realize that that's not a period of time where the sun is benefiting you or your skin health. Skin health is improved by sunlight, because again, once you increase your blood flow, you carry all those vitamins such as omega-3s in grass-fed animals, or the likes of fruits and vegetables, and the likes of vitamins and minerals such as vitamin C and antioxidants are all carried in the likes of your blood, and then they get carried to the areas which the sun hits. So if you get sun directly on your face, okay, in the morning, you can improve your glow. And a lot of people say that farmers, in fact, maybe more so growers or people who are outside for a high percentage of the time, they do have a natural, I suppose, brightness to their skin. That may be down to a couple of different reasons. Firstly, is because they're outside, and they typically most certainly would have, if they're growing their own, consuming more, I suppose, single ingredient foods that contain antioxidants such as beta carotene. That is the orange color that gives a distinctive color. 2, fruits and vegetables that are orange in color. So the ones that are in season, you have most certainly carrots winning. You can definitely gain the advantage of, again, consuming squash, which are typically just finishing up, and we're going into a new growing season for the likes of those fruits. And because actually squash is a fruit, it's not a vegetable, but that's just botanically speaking. But other than that, yes, get in on it. And anybody that I train on the Organic Fitness program, they're getting sunlight every single day. It's a daily recommendation after your training, after your weights, to get outside, get up your steps in sunlight. It's a natural mood improver. It's something that improves your immune system. And for the life of me, I don't know why that wasn't ever recommended before a supplement was. Why? I'll tell you. More so, the fact is money is made when people are recommending supplements. Sun is free, and it's one of the very few things that are left on this earth that is unpolluted. We polluted the soil, we polluted the water, we polluted the air. But getting back to the more beneficial things, the sun, we need it in abundance, especially now more so than ever, to improve your mood. I'm a positive man because I do more things to, I suppose, benefit my health than I do negatively. And I used to always be like that. And I used to listen to information from people and that I didn't, I suppose, and wouldn't trust and wouldn't trade places with. And that's worth noting. Only take information from people that you would switch trade places with, because there's so much information out there right now. We're information overload and we're knowledge lacking. Putting into practice and using yourself as, I suppose, your own experiment. I've tried different diets, I've tried different ways of exercising, and the whole idea of it is there's no one diet, there's no one way, but I want you to figure out and try things for yourself. Factor it into when it suits you, whether it's sunlight, whether it's grounding, whether it's training, the foods, because excessive amount of fiber is bad for your diet. It's bad for you in particular ways because it can cause excessive amount of bloating, and depending on if you are used to it, starting from 1 and then going to 100 in terms of eating and switching up your diet from unhealthy to healthy can cause negative effects. So it's really important to, I suppose, progressively build, just like it is important to progressively overload a muscle to, I suppose, build a leaner physique. Which leads me on to the third of the questions, is 4 training myths from weightlifting. So we got the first of which, often said, weight training is only for men. Okay, that's totally something that I want women in particular to get out of their mindset, because when you take the example of the benefits of weight training, it can actually improve the likes of your body's ability to, I suppose, stay healthy long term. It improves bone density and keeps you, I suppose, and your muscles toned when you, suppose, tear muscle fibers. And that's what happens. You tear muscle fibers, but that's beneficial to yourself, the sun in the YouTube. So that is something I want you to remember. It doesn't get you to turn into the likes of the Hulk or anyone else or Popeye, because if that happened, it would be absolutely positively brilliant. It would be great. We'd all love it. And as a result of that, we would inevitably do 6 weeks of training and never have to do it again. But that doesn't happen. I'd love it to happen. It would be very easy for me to lift the foot off the pedal and lie down on the couch there on Netflix, even though I don't have a television. And as a result of that, I would just go, yeah, in a couple of weeks' time, I might just do a couple of sessions there with a couple of dumbbells and be started. No. For you to build excessive amounts of muscle, it takes a hell of a lot longer than it does take to lose weight. So in the likes of the Organic Fitness program, I have a 6-week period where I get people typically to lose weight. If they want to, suppose, build muscle, they go on to a second phase, and even carrying on that, who want to separate plans with myself. It's the idea that if you want to build muscle, you have to progressively overload, which means you have to incrementally increase the weight or the duration of the time that you carry out that exercise. So just to give an example of that would be using a set of 5 kg or 5 pound dumbbells. You would never really then, next week, you will go to 6. And after that, you go to 7, 8, 9, 10. You can continuously change up the stimulus so that the muscle doesn't have time to adapt and has to, I suppose, build strength and build fibers to, I suppose, lift that same weight, because it is being put under that type of stress. Then you can only lift so much weight when we go up into the bigger numbers, to 50 pounds, 60 pounds, 80 pounds, whatever the idea, or kgs. The idea behind that is we can't always increase our strength at that rate. So what you can do is change the duration. So if you're doing a squat, you're squatting down for 1 second, 2 seconds in the first week. The next week we're going from 2 seconds to 3 seconds. Next week with the same squat, same exercise, just changing up the stimulus. Again, these are things that I suppose are really important for anybody, and that is key, that you either get help or watch and learn from someone who can point you in the right direction, carrying out these exercises in a correct manner, so that you most certainly are using the muscle groups that you intend to. Going on to deadlifts before you can squat is something that I don't recommend. Why squat is the most basic exercise that people should definitely improve on, whether it's picking up a pen or picking up a dumbbell. And then moving on to more difficult ones, exercises such as maybe a bent over row, push-ups, keeping your back straight is really important on all those exercises. Why? Because once you keep your back straight, your legs are doing all the lifting. And once your legs are doing all the lifting, as a result of that, you are most certainly taking pressure off the lower back and preventing lower back pain. A lot of people's issues are lifting weights incorrectly with coaches or with anyone who's showing them unqualified, and they cause injury later, either after that exercise, after those routine and exercise, or later on in life. Your back is so important, and to look after that is key as well. So I recommend people to start off with lighter weights and incrementally improve the duration of time, typically with home workouts being my preferred at this moment in time. That's what I'm recommending. Okay, next one we got it. Cardio is better for weight loss. I'm going to tell you, cardio is great. It improves your endurance. It's great for your heart health, but on top of that, it's not necessarily better than weight training. And if the option is either weight training or cardio, and you can do both, that's what I highly recommend you to do, because you get both best bang for your buck doing that. So straight away, it's really what suits you. If your fitness goal is to, I suppose, reduce down your body fat and tone up a little bit, doing your weight training and then your cardio after, that's a sure indication that you are most certainly using up your glycogen, which is stored in your muscles, in your biceps, or your any of the muscles that you have on your body. And what you're going to do then is, at the end of that, use a type of finisher. Last week's or 2 weeks ago's episode, we have examples of finishers, high intensity, typically at the end, getting you to tap into your fat stores. That's what I recommend. Why? Because that's exactly what I do myself. And that has worked for numerous clients that I train. And it's something that you don't have to do every day. You typically do core exercises on leg days. Why? Because leg day is a tough day and it's the largest muscle group in your body. And then weight training is bad for your joints is one of the fourth and final myths I have right here, right now. In fact, weight training is something that can be bad for your joints, but remember that there are numerous exercises you can do, avoiding, because the common one is either your knees, that people are often complaining about, that have joint issues with. There's so many different upper body exercises, such as your shoulders, your chest, your back, your core, and taking out that major 2 joints on your knees, you can do umpteen amount of exercises. Don't make excuses for yourself. A lot of people are making excuses before they make an effort, and you have to put in a massive effort if you want to improve your health. That starts with exercise, because healthy people exercise, and not only exercise, they most certainly go on to make healthy food choices. Exercise is one side of fitness and food is the other. And then we're going on to the best on the go protein, high organic fitness snacks. So on the plan that I have at the moment in time, there are organic nut bars that are unreal, and I'm out waters when I talk about food. So yes, you can make them if you have spare time. So you have more time or you have more money, and you can go to healthier health food stores and shops that do literally supply them. But knowing what's exactly in it is what I recommend. So I do recommend people to make them themselves. I've been making them since day dot, since I started on this health and fitness journey, and I'm trying to get people to do the exact same. That recipe is up on my YouTube channel if anyone wants it. It's also, I'm sure, located on Instagram and part of the CPOF program. It would also be in the private Facebook page as well. So that is the go-to, making snacks for traveling in the car, which make it really easy for me to stay on track, because more often than not, if you have your breakfast at home, which most people start after day at home, coming out of bed, bish bash bash, having your sourdough breads, eggs, greens, or having overnight oats ready to rock, you have it in the car traveling. Then you go to a location, you're at an event, you don't want to have to get those literally white breaded sandwiches that are in abundance, or biscuits or cakes. You have in a lunchbox in a sealed container, the easiest, quickest snack that you've pre-made that has exactly what you know in it. And they contain nuts, flax seeds, can contain a protein supplement if you want in it. It has fruits, which are high in antioxidants and vitamin C, all the things that are, I suppose, going to keep you fuller for longer, with again the advantage of oats being a complex carbohydrate as well as keeping you fuller. And that's the first of which. Next one, if I'm on the go and I don't have these pre-made, what do I get? You definitely can get your hands on a yogurt. Yogurt is a complete protein. It's a natural probiotic. And if you were in a shop that had cacao powder, you could sprinkle it, buy the whole packet, you bring it home back with you, sprinkle it, just take a spoon, pop that in. That's healthy fat, protein, and magnesium. Those three things are going to keep you satiated and fuller for longer. And people say, oh, go on, what type of yogurt? Get a natural yogurt. Get an organic yogurt, whether it's soya or dairy, make sure it's organic. The animals are grass-fed. Typically, Irish ones are most often than not, especially coming into spring. They're out in the grass right now. So their milk is producing higher omega-3s that we're touching on in the first of the questions. And that is definitely something that you can get in any food shop. And then people say, oh, I don't really like the natural flavor. Can I get the one with the strawberry? Buy berries, buy apples that literally will give you natural sweetness and fiber. Boom. You have nearly 4.5 grams of fiber in an organic apple. How about that? And you have less toxins. And why that's so important? Because toxins can prevent you from losing weight. Actually, and this is the section that I have and labeled in my book. Excessive amount of toxin in your body can increase insulin resistance. Excessive amount of insulin at times where you don't need it can cause and prevent you from losing weight. And that is, I suppose, a realization why it's another keynote to consume more of the good stuff, as I like to call it. Get on that good stuff in the back of this. And last one, quick and easy, Shines. Fish. Tuna is a classic, or sardines. Sardines even better because I do love them. I'm trying to avoid the sun here with the video. I can't wait to go outside as well. The idea of that is fish, sardines, vitamin D, omega-3, complete protein. It's in a tin. There is no other added ingredient. We'll make sure the Shines certainly don't. That's exactly what you want. You want a high protein snack on the go. Tins of fish are something that I consume. And then people say, oh God, Colman, that's kind of what? That kind of make me feel like an animal or a cat or cat food. Like, what about it? The whole idea of it is it's going to get you from A to B. And sometimes you have to do the things that you don't want to do to get the things that you want. And I love fish. I love Shines fish. And actually, if you're looking for a discount code of that, it's Power 25 off those. They are unbelievable high quality. And I'm hopefully going to get a representative from Shines to come on the podcast and talk about sustainability in the fish industry. So stay tuned for that. All right, lads, we'll pretty much wrap it up by saying grass-fed beef, recapping, higher omega-3, not only beneficial for you, but also beneficial for the environment. And they're practically in the sunlight. The glow is on. Then we have less omega-6 in that, which is inflammatory. It's not only beneficial for you, it's beneficial for the soil. We touched on that. Okay, the sun gives you energy. It produces vitamin D from the likes of cholesterol. That is also something that people talk a lot about, that you should be consuming from your eggs. Cholesterol is essential in the body, and it also improves blood flow, which improves your concentration. That again increases your energy levels. We need it in abundance at certain times of the day. It improves your sleep when you get it in the morning. Why? Because it naturally wakens your body. And at the tail end of the day, it's also something that tells your body, if you're watching the sun set, that it's time to produce melatonin. Melatonin is a sleep hormone. And as a result of that, it's something that I get people to do on the Organic Fitness program. The myths, weight training only for guys, so important for women. You don't get bulky after lifting a couple of handy dumbbells in and around the place. In fact, it gives you more muscle tone, gives you better looking glutes, which is your ass. For those of you unsure of that, gluteus maximus, because you don't really need to know those. Next one is cardio, better for weight loss. You can do both of them. Do typically weights first and then cardio after. If your main goal is, suppose, reduce body fat and toning up, or if you want to and you're looking to do a 5K or half 10K, half marathon, something you could definitely do is do your cardio first and then your weight training after. Bish bash bosh, it's always focusing on your goals. Snacks go to organic bars, yogurts, and tins of fishes. All right, things coming up are the likes of the Organic Fitness program, 1st of April. get in and get on that if you want in. Next thing is the retreats. I'm pretty sure when this one comes out, there will be those talks on the next one. So I won't talk about that just yet. Other than that, do something extremely positive for yourself today. Get outside, get a workout done, and make one healthier food choice than you did yesterday. I love ending these on a positive note. So stay tuned, stay classy, and keep it organic.